Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, celebrating its 10-year anniversary, dominating the podcast world. Now sit back and relax, and let's welcome your host, Blake and Sal.
Picture you and me, sitting in the tree. Fucking. First comes drugs, then comes sex. Play your cards right, you'll be my next ex. Like, see the center, oh, she was on the pole. Bank account got low, throwing on my paper. She gets off at 3. She said, come with me. Guess I'm about to be on the first behavior. So tell me, are you cool with temporary? I'm not trying to get married, I'm just trying to get carried away. Need a distraction, not emotional attachment. Body count like an assassin. I might fuck around it, baby. Picture you and me sitting in.
Hello and welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 465. I'm your host, Blank, and I am sitting in a nice air-conditioned house today because it is really fucking hot out. I don't know where the heat came from, but it's fucking hot out. Let me bring on my co-host. First of all, the man, the myth, legend, our wrestling historian Mark is off this week because this is going to be mostly a hockey show. There really is no point in him being here. But let's bring on the biggest heel in podcasting, Mr. Broadway himself. Sal, how you doing?
That was the most vulgar song. My ears are offended.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We've jumped from the Muffin Man to Cisco Next Act. I am so sorry for you. By the way, so the reason I even did this is because I was we went to the Emo Night Brooklyn a couple weeks ago, and I forgot about this song completely until they played it, and I'm like, what the hell song is that? I know I've heard it before. I've heard this song before. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna look it up and I'll play it on the next show, and here we are. Why the hell not? It's something completely different for we play. So let me cut that off because we do have a special guest on the line with us today. And leaving up the backup on the soundboard here, and let's bring him on.
Sometimes I dream that he is me. You got to see that's how I dream to be. Take my love, take my groove, like my, if I could be like my.
Let's bring on Mike. Mike, how you doing?
Hey, great. How about you guys?
Not too bad. So Sal, it's funny. Right before we came on, I was asking Mike, I'm like, do you want the extended version of the music, or do you want the normal version of the music? Because I do have two versions, and he wanted the normal version.
Am I correct in saying that he is the only person that has more than one version of?
Well, how they explained it to him was, I have a 45-second straight version without any like a straight version that's just a plain out song, and then I have a 20-second version that has a fade out, and that's the version I play when he comes on. The 45-second version is for the prediction shows. Because there's no real production. I'm just playing the song. Like, I'm just playing the song for the prediction show. That's pretty much what that's for. So yeah, he has two versions because I can. By the way, so Sal, just to catch up, 2 weeks ago, you said there's two songs that we always sway to when we hear. Is this the other song?
Yes.
Yeah,
I had to think about that for a second. Yes.
Yes. 2 weeks ago, we had John on, and John's theme music is Elton John's "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road," and because of Effie from GCW, and so we were saying how that song and this one are the only theme songs that people we have that actually make us move and like sway when we're doing.
Yes.
You know what? At least it put Sal in a more wholesome place again after that opening song. So like, I'm glad I was able to help out and turn the ship around.
That's just doing so many people fucking off when it just started. People off. It's gonna be great. Oh, by the way, Sal, remind me after the show to send you another hysterical TikTok comment. So we'll talk about it next week's show. Remind me. Okay. Even now, Dad's getting shit. Send it to you later. Even Dad doing shit now on TikTok. So, anyway, let's get started. Help support the show. Find all the projects you can find the show and all the projects we work on at theblackandssalshow.com. Sal,
You could buy our shirts, stickers, hoodies, and KFC chicken,
ooh,
and more. from our TeePublic store. Click on the TeePublic link on our website, or go to TeePublic and search the Blake and Sal Show.
Metal items, actually, but I would love that sponsorship. That would be amazing. I would love sponsorship.
Yeah, if the Colonel's listening, I take a size 3-piece chicken strips and mashed potatoes.
Good choice.
Please.
All right, let's go to break. We're right back. All right. So, by the way, last week we had the show go up, and I was I think it was a prediction show. I listened back to it, and the first commercial was in Spanish.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
It's hysterical on the prediction show. And the funny part of the commercials are local commercials. So, like, I don't know what airs on you guys, and here it was in Spanish. It made me laugh really hard. That made me chuckle. So, I happened on a lot of my podcasts last week, so like, I don't think it was just our show, but it still made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. As always, go pick up Mandy's book. I Know I Am available right now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Artec Publishing in English and in Spanish. Also, go listen to as Mike just dropped his phone.
Ow!
Wow, that's gonna be on Instagram later.
You know what? I'm turning off my camera too. Then. Ow! I fell.
Mike, are you okay?
No, now it's in safe driving mode. I don't know. Oh, there I am.
Are you
Okay.
back?
Yes.
That'll
Wait,
be
safe driving? Did they think you crashed into a pole? Unsafe driving?
oh my god.
Well, at least if I dropped it, it goes into safe driving mode. I mean, after I hit the pole, so it's like I was always there. Thanks for covering me.
That's gonna be an Instagram clip after we're done with the show today. Oh my god.
My phone dropping like my scores in the playoffs.
Anyway, also go listen to the Nintendo the Mandy Show available on all podcasting platforms. That's what I was trying to say before he dropped his phone. All right. Quick flashback. This is airing. We're gonna record this a little early, but this is airing on June 9th. So let's look back quick as a little bit of Blake Satchel history for the week of June 3rd to June 9th. As I said a couple weeks ago, Sal, we don't have a whole lot right now, but we do have a couple of things. One, his first appearance was Matt Tamaney, who came on every year for a few years to talk about Broadway, because it is Tony's weekend, so that makes sense. He would come on this weekend. That was in 2017, his first appearance of like 3 or 4. Came on a couple of years in a row. It was a lot. I liked working with him. He no longer works at Broadway World, but still, I still like working with him. In June 7th, 2020, Sal, remember this one? We were a part of the Wisconsin Podcast Association Podcast-a-thon.
Yes, I do remember that.
It was in a live show at like 7:00 at night on a Monday, on a Monday or something like that. It was a really strange thing, and then we watched Raw Delay. It was a really strange thing we did. So yeah, that's up if you go back.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. It was like wrestling, like 1 second like wrestling trivia or something like that. It was something ridiculous. It was something stupid. It was a lot of fun. You can go back and listen to that in the archives of the last couple of years. So Sal, I text you. What song would you like me to play here? Because the soundtrack is not on Spotify.
Yeah. I
want?
mean, do they even say when the soundtrack's coming out?
I don't even know if it's recorded yet. I have no idea if it's even recorded
Well,
yet.
I mean, the official opening isn't still for another couple of weeks. It's still in previews.
Okay, well, what song do you want anyway?
You're gonna play like from her actual album?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I think In the Zone. I guess you could just play the song Cinderella.
Okay, I could do that.
Because the whole show is pretty much based off of her.
Well, what's funny about it, I put Cinderella and Cinderella Stop came up by Jax. Because we did play that song recently, so that's probably why it came up. So okay, here it is. So Sal, as I joked at the top of the show, went to go see a Broadway show last week. This is why he wasn't here with us when we did the show last week. So, Sal, you went to go see Once Upon and One More Time in previews. And
Yes.
Which is a strange sentence to say. I don't think I've ever talked to anybody that's actually seen a show in previews and talked about it on the show right away. So I'm not
Yes.
you can do this if you're allowed to do this or not, but I don't care.
I didn't sign any NDA, so
Perfect. So why don't you tell us how the show was?
okay, so I'm not being biased. Okay, I'm putting that out right now.
You
Because
can
if
be a
it
little
sucked, I
biased.
would have said it sucked.
You can be a little
It
biased.
was amazing. I had such a great time. It was really well done. It was with intermission about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at
Yeah.
all.
I loved it. The story was fantastic. It's pretty much I can't say Disney princesses because they're all princesses from other stories that Disney just, made popular.
Right.
So you have Cinderella, you have Snow White, you have Ariel, um, Sleeping Beauty, Belle. Did I think Beauty and the Beast was not an original Disney, right?
No, it was not. It was not.
Right. And a few others here and there. Um, all centered around Britney Spears songs. Obviously a lot of lyrics changed and stuff, but the same concept. Fantastic. I mean, like I said, I'm not being biased. It was a really, really good show. I loved every second of it. The music was really good, so I'm like dying for the soundtrack to come out. Hopefully, it comes out. Prince Charming, who is the main person, obviously with Cinderella, was played by Justin Guarini. If you
Oh,
remember him from American
really?
Idol,
I did not realize.
yeah,
I didn't realize that.
he did a really good job. He's fantastic. He still moves like he's in his 20s. He is amazing. I had such a good time. He was funny. There's a lot of comedy in the show. Um, the set was beautiful. There wasn't too many people there. I want to say probably half the theater was open, but I mean it is still in previews. And actually the actress that played Snow White actually that was her third show. So I guess the original one got replaced somehow. I don't know what the story is, obviously, because they started previews about 2 weeks ago. So they already replaced one person, but she was fantastic.
That makes sense though. It is right.
Yeah,
It may have replaced her, or maybe she had another show. She may have also had another show.
yeah, that could be too. But
You know?
overall, like I said, I mean, I had so much fun. I definitely want to go see it again. Um, the very end, after the curtain call, they came back out and did another song, which got everyone moving, and we had the little light up bracelets on, and
That's pretty cool. I saw that. That was pretty cool. That reminded me of Rock of Ages when they gave us all lighters.
yeah,
When they actually tell us what to do with them, and then we randomly started doing it during a song. It was really cool.
yeah. But it was really, really good. I like I said, I had so much fun. I definitely want to go see it again. And yeah, so that was it. So that was my and that was actually Patrick's very first ever Broadway show. He's never seen a Broadway show before, so
That's
he had a
cool.
good time too.
That's really cool. By the way, the official date is June 22nd. That's the official date for the show to coming out. I just looked it up real fast.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know when
sounds
the
about right.
soundtrack's coming out. I don't see that anywhere here yet, but usually it's around that time.
I
Usually around
really
the
hope
time when the
it's
show
coming
comes
out.
out. Probably beginning of July. It'll probably be the beginning of July when the soundtrack finally comes out. For those wondering, officially this is I think the first musical of the new season after the Tonys. So this is officially now up for next year's Tony Awards.
Yes.
This is part of that season, which is pretty weird how they timed that, but there you go.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that being said, let's do this while Mike looks bored.
I've been to Broadway once. We saw Harry Potter.
See what's going on in the wild world of sports.
Mandy walked over here and asked me to open a pack of cheese while that was playing.
Cheese?
Well, she's making her dinner. She never had dinner earlier. She's making her dinner behind me.
Is it Wisconsin cheese?
Pretty much. All right. Now with the sports intro somewhere in there, I'll probably put it in post because I don't think I even heard it myself because we were joking about it over it. But anyway, we're here as always. We do this traditionally every single year. The funny part this year, I don't think we're going to mess with as many names as I did in the past because it's not as hard this year. Notice that it's not really, really difficult names this year. It's fast.
There goes my only job.
I thought you were. Oh wait, yeah, you're not doing that either. You're not waiting in our game either. So you're doing that well. Anyway, we're going to talk about the NHL awards, which I think it's on the end of the month. I was doing it early because we needed the week to do the show, so I figured let's move it a little earlier in the month and put it up here. We have all the awards in front of us. It's funny, the last year, so maybe pay a little behind the scenes from last year's award show. So last year we did the NHL awards like we did this. We previewed it early, we put it up early. And then immediately I get a message from Mike. Maybe 5 minutes after we're done recording, we forgot the Norris Trophy. Last year. A guy who was literally, I just said, I closed everything up. I was settling in the living room to watch some TV, and all of a sudden my text message goes off. I think we forgot the Norris Trophy.
Whoops.
But the funny part is that nobody noticed it until after we were done.
Whoops.
So I thought
I see it's on there here.
So that was pretty funny. But anyway, so this time we do have all the awards, including, and we'll start from the bottom with the award we never get the nominees before we record. So this year we actually have the nominees for this category this time. It is the Jim Gregory General Manager of the Year Award, which, by the way, Sal, Fritz should be up for. How he's not nominated for this category, I have no fucking idea.
I know.
But
I guess when you don't make it past the second round, you don't get nominated.
But it's a regular season award.
Oh.
It's a regular season award. How do you have the biggest turnaround in NHL history and not get nominated for this award?
I guess being 1 point away from winning the division isn't good enough.
Yeah. Well, ironically, Carolina not nominated either, so that makes me feel a little better. Anyway, so Jim Neal from Dallas, the Dallas Stars, Don Sweeney from the Boston Bruins, and Bill Zito from the Florida Panthers. I guess this gives us one.
Boo! Boo, Florida! Boo!
What is your? Okay, I have to ask because you said this on the show on the Cup Final show. What the hell is your hatred for Florida? What's your hatred for Florida? What the hell did they do to you?
They knocked us out like what 10 years ago, and and then they kept throwing rats on the fucking ice, and then they delayed the game. And I remember being very angry about the rats, and I think I have a rant on Facebook about the rats.
There's somewhere. I know you're in about 1 year doing the show,
and they literally are only here because fucking Boston lost that one random game to Chicago in April or whatever, and it's the only reason why they made it into the playoffs.
So, like I said, I think this award goes right to Don Sweeney anyway because of the historic year.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I was just honest here on this one, right?
I gotta agree. That's most likely it, just with how much Boston's gonna be winning because it is a regular season award. And they really blew everyone away. It's probably going to be a little more.
And then they got blown away in the first round. Bam, bam. I'll squeeze that insult in there.
Well, I mean that is very accurate. So with the team that you hate, with the Rats,
Taylor Hall, who?
What a difference 5 years makes. If you were talking about him like the savior of New Jersey 5 years ago, and here we are.
We got new saviors.
Brand new saviors. You can't argue with that. And one of them nominated for award, and we'll get there a little later. So, Mike, why don't you jump on the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy? Go.
All right. So for the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy, we got Clayton Keller of the Arizona Coyotes. We have Chris Letang from the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we have Alex Stalock of the Chicago Blackhawks. So like my pick for it, it's kind of up in the air. Chris Letang had a stroke and his father passed this year, so he's got like that comeback story. Clayton Keller plays for the Coyotes, so that's like a problem in and of itself. No, I mean Keller broke his I think one of his bones, and I think he broke his femur and was like didn't miss a single game this year after breaking it last year. So I could see either one of those two. Obviously, my pick will probably be, obviously Letang. I'm not biased, but
neither is Sal.
Pat disagrees.
Sal, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was honestly thinking Chris Letang only because of all the adversities and stuff like that. But I was gonna say maybe Clayton Keller just because he plays on Arizona. Not for any particular reason, just because he's on that godforsaken team. But no, Chris Letang will be my final answer on that one.
I actually, isn't bad. The hockey season was so long, I forgot that Chris Letang had that stroke. I forget. This season was so long. I forgot that was this season.
He was back 10 because he was back 10 days later.
Which is insane. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
If people ever doubt the toughness of hockey players,
Yeah.
it's that.
I mean, the last time he was
Die and then
nominated,
like
it
came
was
back
from
into third or something.
What was that? What was
Didn't the
that?
guy like die and then like came back in the third period or something?
Or like at least the next game. At least it was the next game. Something like that. Like it was still
something
nuts.
like that.
So absolutely crazy. So Sal, well, we always make fun of this award, but this year we actually have a devil nominated for it. And Sidney
Yeah, so
Crosby,
this is
and
the
Sidney
most-
Crosby's not. It's the Lady
the
Big
most-
Trophy.
the most prestigious award. The Lady Bing and Jackie Hughes is nominated for our beloved New Jersey Devils. Anze Kopitar, boo, from the LA Kings, and Braden Point, boo, from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And if I don't pick Jackie Hughes, then I don't deserve to be alive. So Jackie Hughes.
Look at my background. I think it's obvious I'm picking in this category. No, actually, funny part is, Jack Hughes won at like 2 penalty minutes the entire season. Like it was something ridiculous, 2 or 4 penalty minutes the entire year. Like it was some ridiculous number like that. Because remember that was the big deal when he got into that fight. That was like his first fight in like 3 years. Like, it was a big deal. Like,
And he lost a tooth.
he lost a tooth.
He's a toothless Timmy.
Apparently became more badass according to Sal.
I read online, someone said online that who knew that having one tooth knocked out of his skull would have turned him into like such a Terminator.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Mike, go ahead. Outside of our double stand-up, are you agreeing with us or no?
So Jack had 6 penalty minutes.
No, that's not a lot. That's not a lot.
Oh, come on. You're just splitting hairs here.
Well, Kopitar had 4. So
Fuck him.
I-
He's like 90 years old at this point.
That's
He's probably on the 4th line. He plays like 12 minutes a game.
I thought this was my pick.
It is, and you're going to pick Jack Hughes.
I am going to pick Jack Hughes actually,
Okay,
but my thing is at this point, of course, with his play, he's on the ice all the time. He has so much more ice time as to Sal's point before I was rude. And Point, also has that ice time. They had similar points, but I feel like the NHL really wants to have Hughes win something. Not that they're handing him the Lady Bing, but wouldn't it just be beneficial for the NHL for Hughes to win this and start kind of getting those awards that we know he's going to be getting later in his career?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I think it's a better optic, and I think he's deserving too. I'm not saying it's because he doesn't deserve it, but I just think it's a better optic for the league compared to the other 2 players.
Fair enough. Let's get over to the Frank J. Selke Trophy for Defensive Forward of the Year. Patrice Bergeron from the Boston Bruins, Nico Hischier from the New Jersey Devils, and Mitch Marner from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I have to pick Nico, but I have a weird feeling Patrice Bergeron is going to win this anyway because he's Patrice Bergeron for no other reason, just because he's Bergeron. But
isn't he technically retiring or something? Or
that's another reason why they're going to give him one more trophy on his way out. That's another reason.
Yeah.
I can't go against Nico. I want Nico to win this award because the last person Devil to win this was John Madden. Is he the last one to win this trophy?
Oh, geez,
I
I
remember John Madden won it. I know for a fact John Madden did win it, like the 2000 season. So I remember that much. The Devils don't win many awards. I remember them. They don't win many. So I'm gonna go Nico, but I have a weird feeling going to Bergeron style.
I mean, I would love if Nico won, but yeah, I think Patrice Bergeron is probably going to win, especially since he was a crying little bitch on the ice. I'm just pointing facts. I'm sorry.
Have I ever mentioned how much I love doing this show? I love doing NHL award preview show with you too. Have I ever mentioned that?
Can you quote that on Twitter and actually tag him so he sees it?
This is literally one of my favorite shows of the entire year. I look forward to this show every year. Oh my God.
So I think Patrice Bergeron is going to win the future Patrice Bergeron trophy. I think it's just he's nominated literally every year. I feel like he's won at least half of them. I think it's only actually going to be his fifth win out of like 14 nominations, but
Five? Really? Only five?
it's something to that extent. Yeah,
Wait,
shocking.
so he's
It's
below
just 'cause
50%.
nominated
He
every
sucks.
year. So I'm gonna say probably Bergeron. If it wasn't a Bergeron retirement year, I would have probably said his year for the same reason I said Hughes for that same idea. But I think it's gonna be Bergeron.
Yeah, Nico could win in the future. Not the end of the
Yeah.
world. You know?
Yeah.
So let's see, we're on the Calder Memorial. So Mike, go.
All right, the Calder Memorial Trophy for Rookie of the Year. We have Matty Berniers, I think. I'm even bad with the first name. The second one, Seattle Kraken, Owen Power. That's a great name, by the way. Buffalo Sabres and Stuart Skinner of the Edmonton Oilers. Even though Owen Power has the best name here, I'm really stuck between Stuart Skinner and Matty Berniers. Berniers.
I think it's Beniers. I think it's Beniers.
Beniers. We'll go with Beniers. That sounds good. We'll go with that for a team.
I've heard it. I'm just trying to remember what I've heard. You know what I mean? Like,
so like Beniers had like close to 60 points, played most of the games. Seattle Kraken had a big turnaround this year, making the playoffs for the first time. Stuart Skinner stepped in for Edmonton Oilers. I'm really between. I actually read something that Matty Beniers, 80 games, only 2 penalty minutes, not nominated for the Lady Byng now. So I think I'm going to give.
Who cares about Seattle?
A lot of people seem to care about Seattle. Their games really
Their arena is called climate change. Like, what the fuck is that all about?
And you know what? Their farm team is the Coachella Valley Firebirds. So,
and I love that
that's
team.
who I'm going with.
Coachella.
Yeah, like for real, the Seattle Kraken's farm team is the Coachella Valley Firebirds. That's not a joke.
Oh.
And every time I hear it, I think of just like people dressed as 60s hippies and
the Admirals
around at a festival.
As of we're recording this, the Admirals are playing them in the conference finals, and that's why they keep getting brought up on the show. Oh my god, Sal, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know. Just based because of how good of a season the Oilers had, I would say Stuart Skinner. Sure.
That makes sense. That does make sense. Matty Beniers does make sense though, because who the hell saw Seattle coming this year? Who the hell saw that one coming? They were more. I think for me, they were more shocking than the Devils, because at least the Devils had the players you expect them to be good eventually. You know, you never expect to Seattle to run so fast. Like, it was just a surprise. But Edmonton's going to win a shitload of awards later when we get there because of, one Connor McDavid. So I think you throw this one over somebody else and you give this one to Matty Beniers and give Seattle a little bit of credit for this year. So let's move on to the business, Sal. Go.
Yeah, we have Connor Hellebuyck from the Winnipeg Jets, Ilya Sorokin from the Islanders, and Linus Ullmark from the Boston Bruins. And fuck Boston. I'm gonna go with Connor because he had a pretty good fucking year, right? I mean, I remember him having some pretty good fucking stats. We lost Blake, folks.
No. Give me shit for the opening of the show. They had some great fucking stats. Oh my god. That's why I'm cracking up laughing, because of the contradiction of that your language right now.
I'm not.
So funny. So fucking funny. Anyway,
language.
I wanted to lean towards Sorokin, but I just don't care about the Islanders at all. It's like your feeling about the Rangers last year with the Sturkin. You just don't care.
Shit foreskin.
Go back to that for last year, people. If you missed that joke, that's from last year.
My phone actually autocorrects to shit foreskin because I typed it so much.
I know. I'm sorry that in the playoffs. But anyway, I think Clutterbuck does actually make more sense here, just because of the playoff rush, and Boston shouldn't win everything.
I agree,
Mike.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like he's been like a runaway favorite, Allmark. I think he's got it in the bag. So I'm just gonna stick with Allmark. Yeah, I really have to. He led everything for goalies. It's kind of a slam dunk, I think.
Fair enough. James Norris Royal Trophy for best defensive player in the league. You have Adam Fox and the New York Rangers, Erik Karlsson from the San Jose Sharks, and Cal McCarr from the Kyle Avalanche, who I think is the obvious winner of this category because he's
What's the James Norris again?
the best defenseman,
Oh,
defenseman of the year, the one we skipped last year by accident.
maybe that's why I don't remember it.
I know. So I'll go Kyle McCarr, Mike.
I don't know. So like that is a good question. What is the Norris Trophy? Is it actually best defender? Is it the most offensive defender? Because that's what kind of changes it. Because Carlson broke 100 points this year, first defenseman to do it in God knows how long. But his plus minus was just dumpster fire because the Sharks really just sucked this year. Kale McCarr is like the perfect defenseman. So if it's actual defensive play, I'm gonna go with McCarr and stick with McCarr. But I mean, Carlson had a lot of points.
I feel like they should just call this the most honest award preview ever. We don't give fucks. We do not give any fucks at all. Relax.
We're professional journalists.
That we are not. We are definitely
For
not.
fuck's sake, we are professional journalists. Titties.
Oh my god! All right. Where are we? Jack Adams. Jack Adams Award for Coach of the Year. We think I got this one right. And nominated Lindy Ruff from the New Jersey Devils. We think I got this one right. Jim Montgomery from the Boston Bruins and David Haxel from the Seattle Kraken. You obviously know where my heart lies, and that is one Lindy Ruff. Even though Sal over here wanted to fire him after 2 games, much like most of the city of New Jersey.
Hey, I demanded him for his head on a platter, and look what happened after.
Yeah. That was the funniest part. So I was just flashback to October for a second for those who were not joining us back then. That this guy, we're 3 games into the season. They had like a tumble game losing streak to start the season. This guy wants to call Lindy Ruff's head off, wants to cut his head off. Like, it was ridiculous. And I literally tell him, relax. The season just started. Isn't there the fire losing chance going on in the building? You're like, it's like they should give him the award just for the fact that he got the fans to change from fire Lindy to I'm sorry, Lindy, in a matter of like a month. You should just win the award just for that.
For the record, I never said sorry, Lindy. I never apologized. I said I will apologize when we win a cup, and that did not happen. So he is not getting my apology.
I was impressed. I'm just so happy we made the playoffs and how great this season was. But no, I should give him the award just for the fact he got the crowd and the building to change the chance in the matter of like a month. So they still talked about that when the playoffs started. That was one of the most surprising things ever. Mike, what do you think?
I think it was the funniest thing ever because I was actually at the home opener. So like I was in the crowd when everyone was like screaming fire Lindy and everything. And just hearing it later on and going to games and hearing like the sorry Lindy after, it's a great story, hilarious. If the Bruins didn't win like every game this season. That's the issue. So I'm with you guys. Like, I really think it should be rough, just the turnaround, getting the young guys to play. I mean, it was a complete 180 from last year with only a couple new additions to the roster, really. I mean, it's not like Palat was really useful for most of the season. Like, it was the young guys coming up, and a lot of that was rough, but I think the Bruins just had too many points. And Montgomery, it was his first year at the Bruins, big turnaround. I got to say Montgomery, unfortunately.
Yeah. I know where your heart is, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would love if Lindy Ruff won it because that was a phenomenal turnaround. Biggest point differential or whatever they were saying, between last year and this year, in history, NHL history. But yeah, I mean, Boston just had too big of a season, too important of a season, too record breaking of a season to not win that award. So I would say Jim Montgomery is going to win it.
Yeah, he like I said, it's going to be Montgomery, but I really want Ruff to get some kind of a credit because this was an amazing turnaround. As much as we joke about it, as much as Sal loves giving shit, it was the fact that we went from being literally one of the worst teams in the league to we're in the second round of the playoffs is pretty damn impressive. Like, to be honest here, like, and we only lost because Carolina had apparently insane firepower. Like, I pretty much every reason we lost that round because.
And then look what happens.
Exactly. So we have the final 2 awards, which at a certain point This should be wrapped up into one award, but one is voted on by the players, and I don't remember what the other one's voted on by. I think it's the media. But the Ken Lindsay Award for MVP, voted on by the players, is Erik Karlsson from the San Jose Sharks, Connor McDavid from the Edmonton Oilers, and David Pastrnak from the Boston Bruins. I'm just going to tie both awards together because it's going to be the same person anyway, so what's the difference? And the Hart Trophy for the league MVP, I think voted on by the media, I think. Connor McDavid from the Edmonton Oilers, Dave Pastrnak from the Boston Bruins, and Matthew Tkachuk from the Florida Panthers. If this is a playoff award, it goes to Tkachuk. Because for the season, they're both going to McDavid. Sal?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think McDavid's going to win both of them, which would be huge. I mean, that's such an accomplishment, and he's got a lot of years to go. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive for, being on a shit team. But, you know, it is what it is.
I can't think of many players that pulled this off. Like, I think Crosby's done this before, and there's not many people that have done this. Like, I give credit where it's due, Mike.
I mean, I gotta agree, of course. I mean, it's going to be McDavid. Like Karlsson, I mean, the Sharks sucked all year. Pastrnak, like he was really big for Boston, but I mean, McDavid just like razzle. Like where's Edmonton without McDavid?
You're not wrong.
Like
in 32nd.
Probably.
The funny part about that is you might be halfway true if it wasn't for like the teams that were trying to choke the season, and then they still got screwed over in the draft lottery. The Ducks.
But that would have been if it was David, like basically single-handedly. So I agree that it's going to be McDavid for both.
Yeah. So but if you're hearing a dog barking in the background, I have no idea what they're barking. It's a night show. I have no idea what they're barking at. I have zero clue. So they should not be yapping like this at this hour. So I think we'll wrap things up here then. Again, if you're hearing this in the background, I'm sorry. I don't know where this is. I don't know what the hell got in there. But I'll hit this. So what are we closing with?
You put me on the spot. I literally couldn't think of anything. And for some strange reason, Robin's Dancing on My Own just popped up in my head. I'm like, all right, I guess that's going to be our outro.
Sure, why not? Whatever. The last show we started under the Sea of Little Mermaid, just because I heard it on the Disney radio station on Sirius XM, and I'm like, why not?
I saw Little Mermaid in theaters on Monday also.
Yeah, I have to see it still. I have to see that still.
It was very good.
All right, Sal, let's get out of here. Go.
For more information on our show, including where you can find us on social media and also on TikTok, because apparently now people like to say stupid shit, or where you can also find our show on YouTube, go to theblakeandsalshow.com. Don't forget to comment or leave a rating and review, and we will read it on the show and make fun of you.
You know what's funny is that I'm putting clips up now on YouTube to try to get more people to watch the show. And it's actually working, by the way, which is pretty cool. But like I put up a clip for this past week's show, and it got like it was at 100 views. It was in like 3 or 4 hours of posting it. I'm like, that's pretty good. I'll take that. I'm not like that. That's cool. Especially if more people watch the show on YouTube. That's great.
Mike, are you in a gym?
No. YouTube and an ad started playing.
Okay.
That's funny. All right. So okay, we'll pass. I think this is going up on the 9th. So tomorrow, look for the first week of coverage of Kyle and Matt at Windy City Pony Con. They're currently getting ready to attend that. So this, I don't remember how many years ago.
I was gonna say, well, how long have they been doing this now? Like 5 years?
At least 5 years. And they missed the pandemic, obviously, years, but they've been going between Chicago and Milwaukee for a long time. The Milwaukee one's later in the year. Next week, Mark will be back with me and Sal. He'll talk about Crusher Fest because he'll be attending that. We'll be attending that the weekend before this show. But yeah, whatever, you know about that. If you listened to last week's show, he re-promoted the last week's show. And we'll look at the Road to Forbidden Door because we'll be able to talk about Dominion results, and that'll lead to Forbidden Door. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, more comments from TikTok because we're reading. Let's leave it at this. In the matter of the last couple of weeks, I have been told that my opinion sucks about they're not listening to this podcast. And a comment that Dad made said, "Oh, you sound like a person that lives in your mom's basement." So there you go. We'll talk more about that next week.
Okay.
Mike, I need nothing to plug. So for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, we always look forward to this. Like I said, this is one of my favorite shows to do every year. So I have to make sure it's on the calendar every year. I look forward to this.
I wouldn't miss it.
All right. That'll being said, let's get out of here. I'm Blake.
I'm so.
And you're listening to the Blake and Sal Show. Well, without Mark today. Have a good day, everybody.
Hey, I could say this uninterrupted. See ya.
To say goodbye, I'm watching you kiss her. Oh.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.
Bye bye, bitch.